I saw Bola playing. I was like, I can play for the Stormers, or I can play for the Boks. Ricky January came on the scenes. And so when I met those guys, I was like, my mouth was always open. And at the time, like when anyone had something to say about Ricky, I was ready to box.
Welcome to the GenC podcast. It is me, Rizan, in my school uniform.
Was that just Did you wear that? Was that your colours?
Loki, actually, these my primary school colours. It is.
Okay.
It's sticky.
It's giving Tigerberg statement.
Yeah.
That's niche.
It's giving Rizan, you're gonna grow into it.
To the audio listeners, my homie dissed me for this show. What was always is JP Jackson. Hello, JP.
Hello everyone, welcome. And in the middle, we have Mr. Rudy Paige.
Wow.
Welcome, Rudy.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah.
How does it
Thank you for coming
feel to be on the other side?
Now my palms, my feet, everything is soap nut. I'm sweating.
Hands sweaty.
I was driving here, guys, and I was like, what do I say? Am I even like interesting? What am I doing here? But no, thanks for having me. I'm really excited. Obviously, big fans of what you guys are also doing. Big fans.
Exclusive.
Setting the way, especially on social media for us to see. So really excited.
Nice. So I believe you, before every big game, you used to watch Braveheart and Gladiator. So
This boy that came from.
I was starting it like that.
what was it about that movie that just got you in the zone?
Look, I'm a very structured person.
Okay.
So, and I've got like small beliefs that I do. And I think it was one game. It was still in high school that I played flipping well. And I was like, what did I do before the game? And I was like, last night I watched Gladiator at home. And then from Gladiator was Braveheart. And then ever since then, I've just always done it.
Yeah.
To the irritation of then my girlfriend and now my wife. But it was a thing.
Yeah. And
Maximus, Decimus, Meridius, Commander. Like that whole tutti. It just like it got me in the vibe and it got me into my chill zone before game. And but I'm a very structured person. Like I love habit.
Yeah.
And that was just my habit before my rugby games that got me in the mix.
Yeah, but I mean, that's also very drawn to your childhood, right? Because your dad is a pastor.
Yes.
And your mother's a teacher.
Yes.
So it's a very kind of structured life in terms of mommy's at school from X to X. Daddy needs to go do the nighttime visits.
JP's on one.
Was there, I think, coming from such a small town, a pastor is like like a celebrity, right? Because they kind of the family that you look up to.
Listen, his dad became a pastor and they moved.
Nice, you guys.
So
the small town stay there first.
Okay. Yeah.
And then we move.
Yeah. Where did we move to, Rizan?
Outside.
No, my dad was first a teacher and then he studied theology. So that I think that is where my structure does come from. Strict, very strict parents. Extremely strict. That's why I'm.
Do you want to say it one more time?
Extremely strict. They're probably, I'm probably in so much trouble after saying that on the air. Yeah, but look, small town. Both my parents is massive sport. Dad played rugby for SWD, mother played netball, SVD. And I think that's where I got a lot of my characteristics from. Dad loves to talk all the time in church, obviously, and I think that's probably my biggest strength in life. I can't shut up. Wherever I go is clap, bietjie gooi.
Yeah.
That contrasts so nicely with, I don't know if you know this, but there's this belief in the colored community that the naughtiest children, policeman's child, teacher's child, and the pastor's child. So your parents are like, not in our house.
Respect and discipline.
Look, if you know me really well, it's probably spot on. I love a bit of mischief. I've obviously grown up now.
Allegedly.
Back in the day, Yeah, I love to test the boundaries to see what I can get away with in church, having the nachmal, stealing it after church.
Sorry, Daddy.
Sorry, Daddy. And he actually changed. He started with the grape, the sparkling, and then he went to the real McCoy. Yeah, I went to the real McCoy, and then I was really thriving.
In my element.
I was in my element, especially once he's in with the diakons and having. So yeah, like look. I honestly loved it. Wouldn't change my childhood for anything, especially Heidelberg days.
Yeah.
You could still go into climbing trees and get onto the BMX and with your brother like ride out. And so from that point of view, honestly, like great childhood in Heidelberg where my family still stays. But yeah, my parents hasn't changed. My mom still calls me on a Sunday. Did you go to church? Did you do this? When she comes over, still do my washing. Mom, please keep on doing that. Okay?
That's such a
So makes my biryani when she's at home. So yeah, class. Yes, I'm very lucky. Lucky gents.
So then at 13, you got the chance to go to Otanikwa, right? Or your high school at Otanikwa. That's a very young age to go away from your house. So there are certain circumstances in our community where that is possible. And most notably when your child is a sports star or is good at sport and that sort of thing. But we never get the perspective of the one going.
Ooh.
How was it like when you had to enter that? Because at that stage, you had no one that you knew.
A fish out of water, if you will.
Yeah. What it was like you.
Taking you back.
Yeah. Look, exciting. I'm not going to lie. Like I've never been afraid of change.
Okay.
Like I like to test myself and be in uncomfortable environments and like just taking on stuff, man. So look, I really enjoyed like leaving home. I think the tough part is once I came from Heidelberg into this school where there was BMWs and that part was
Okay.
all of a sudden like look, there's a different. Life is a bit different than Heidelberg. So that part you had to get a little bit used to. But for me, leaving home, not as tough. I actually went for cricket initially.
Wow.
Played cricket provincially, primary school and high school, and a bit of rugby. But cricket was my first love that I wanted to pursue maybe then. But it wasn't tough. No. Courses was a bit tough. Having baked beans in Vienna with toast, that was altijd lekker, nie, James? When you grade 8 and you only had to this last, there's no seconds. And you had to slat, what was it called, man? The coffee diet, the peanut butter and jam. Like the peanut butter and jam with a cup of coffee, just to fill
Soakers
yourself.
and survivors.
Yeah. So that was the challenging part. But other than that, look, you get to compete and you got exposed to so much at Otanikwa at the time that.
Do you think that kind of prepared you for the lifestyle that you would end up having? Like being taken on tours and those sort of spaces where now you're already fending for yourself. So now doing this in another location is just the same thing, new day.
Look, you basically had to learn everything yourself. How to spend 20 rand a week. How to deal with disappointment by yourself. All of that stuff. So I had to grow up really quick. I had to manage your laundry. Like got in trouble for not making your bed and not cleaning your boots at the time. So growing up at 13 years old or 14 years old at the time happened like this.
Yeah.
Not a grown up, but
you
had to do similar grown up things.
Yeah.
It makes sense. So from managing my money was tough. That 20 or 50 rand for a week, you had to go 5 rand at school. Then you still had to ask some of the brothers, like guys from town, like for pies money. And then you had to leave some for Wednesdays. Was at the hostel was the day that you can go to the shops.
Okay.
Then you bought, there was like a garlic loaf, and on the garlic loaf was a bit of ham pieces. We cut that thing up in 4 or 5 in our room. eat it with Doritos. Lekker. Nah, it was top.
Yeah.
And KFC had a rounder special at the time. I don't know, that was in George. It was like 5 minutes next to the Outeniqua. A rounder special. You bought one, you got one free on a Wednesday, yeah. Especially for the Kosse's kids at the time. So that was,
Yeah.
It taught me a lot about how to work with money, I must say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have a lot of it, but what I had to manage really well.
But again, if you're not able to manage with a little, you're then not able to manage with a lot. So it lays the foundation, I think, which is very important.
Yeah.
Look, I want to come back to the fact that you said the term katuti. Where is that from? Where is that? So you've heard that before? Yo,
I don't know where it's from.
It's like, is it just like a thing that people of color say?
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so like, listen, I'm Malay colored. So we say inshallah. You know what I'm saying? So then let's talk about moving then to Oudtshoorn, if you will. You know, what is that? So you grew up obviously in Heidelberg and then you moved to Oudtshoorn. What's the difference between sort of growing in those different places in the Western Cape?
I actually didn't stay in Oudtshoorn for really long.
Okay.
Because when my parents moved to Oudtshoorn, that's the time I went to Outeniqua.
Okay.
Yeah, so my siblings grew up in Oudtshoorn. I think my parents stayed in Oudtshoorn for 21 years. So my sister got born in Oudtshoorn, stayed their whole life or youth. So they lived there most, and I obviously just went every holiday or weekends when they come and pick me up. The big difference was probably just a bigger town.
Okay.
You could go to Edgar's. You understand? You guys, that was a nice thing. There was some Markhams. There was a sports scene. You could walk in every Friday and have a look at the techies and didn't buy anything. So
It's giving escalate.
So that was the big upgrade, guys. And Heidelberg was, look, and for all the Heidelberg people watching, I'm not dissing our town. Please, guys, I'm not dissing the dorp. We had a pep. We have the best engine in Wimpy in the country.
Okay.
I want to disclaim that one out there. I'll be very proud of that Wimpy. Pep, what else is there? Is een afgri or a coöperatie in Afrikaans. Yes, and two big churches.
Yeah.
And there we go.
And there we go.
And there we go.
Wow. Small town.
I'm so glad I asked.
Do you think you'd be able to how would you have experienced like growing up in a small town like that?
So that was immediately like the energy that I was going for. Is that like you experience this small town life like in movies, and now we have someone who actually grew up in a small town, who's experienced small town life, and I'm bro,
You'll have a ball.
Okay.
Like it's lekker,
Like I was gonna say, there's like certain things that's like
the pros and the cons of pros and cons. Yeah.
I always tell people from Heidelberg is lekker mense in Afrikaans. You can go into any conversation and you'll have your best time.
Okay.
They make you laugh. They'll go their way for you. So the community itself is amazing.
That's the thing. Yeah, I was gonna say that's the thing. Is that like I think the trade-off is we don't have as like strong communities.
We don't. We honestly
like we know the people, but you don't know the people. Whereas, you know what I'm saying?
But now people are getting to know you, Rizan.
Hey.
Lekker.
Being the
Thanks
community.
to you, JP.
So then let's get to the 2007 big year for you, Rudy. We don't. You made SA schools, but not more importantly, you were the captain of SA schools. Now we know that, and in our community, in any space in life, if you are a nationally represented sportsman, that is amazing.
Yeah.
Full stop. Now you then get to captain that team as well. Was leadership always something that you wanted to step into? Because obviously they see you, well, there's this group of guys, but no, that's the guy that I think should be the captain.
Look, I've always enjoyed leadership. I don't know if who selected me as leadership and how the whole system works, but I've loved responsibility. Like I honestly, even now as a father, like I love the responsibility that I have to provide to my children. Like I don't know why, like I thrive in that environment, man.
Yeah.
Like there's a goal.
There's a
like
goal.
I need to be on my A game. So leadership is always something that I've really enjoyed. I wish I had more success as a leader. That is probably the one thing that that I wish I could do different. Yeah, but that's not the question.
Sorry, what does success mean to you?
Maybe trophies, like winning trophies. Look, I think I've always had a reasonably good understanding of reading a room.
Okay.
Like I can come into and pick up different cultures really well and connect the different cultures together, which is probably the part where the Domini comes in. Like if it makes sense. Like that is where the growing up in a teacher's and a Domini house, like I could do that reasonably quickly. But becoming SA schools at the time was amazing. I'm not gonna lie. When I left, because I left my matric year to go to Joburg. So I took a massive risk. I left Outeniqua at the time, which was a big risk for me. But I just thought, my dad actually said, look, if we're going to play it small, we're just never going to know what's going to happen. So I took a massive risk, got on a plane. I cried for 3 weeks in a row. Cried. I made a mistake.
But you said you are a crier. You're someone that cries.
Good news, bad news.
You
movie.
Okay.
I started to run. Like I can tell with my siblings, and the tears never too far from us. But I just took a big risk, and I was really lucky because you never know how things work out. My opinion is always there is some sort of luck involved, man. Like going to the Lions at the time and then becoming the Lions Craven captain, and then eventually someone obviously thought there's something in me and making me as a school's captain, which was a proud moment for my family, obviously for myself as well. Sometimes you look back and you kind of forget about it. If it makes sense, I don't know, but and thanks for the reminder.
But I think, and I think again, it's fine that you have a very illustrious career. But what I'm trying to say is that you don't even know that 2007 Craven Week could have inspired the Springboks today that are playing.
Yeah.
It's because you my reference is in our primary school we had a guy called Rick Schroeder who's now with a 94.5. So he was in high school. Yeah, primary school. Sorry, in primary school. So he was Craven Week captain under 13, but he made it believable that a guy that looks like us can be a captain of a provincial level team. I wasn't even talking a national team, but you then did that at a national level, which again, you don't even know this, but this crop of Springboks and players that have now started going through would have seen you in Craven Week at that time.
That's why I asked you, what does success mean to you? Because as I'm sitting there, I'm like, you are such a successful story.
There's levels. And again, like you said, you think it's just part of your journey, right? And in this space that we are also operating now, part of our journey is to make awareness, but also bring to light that these things happen and you can also get to do that.
Yo, GenC style. I haven't thought of it like that. Look, like part of my personality is I don't take myself really serious. Like I don't think of me being a trendsetter. And, I actually never.
But let me get you back to your first fanboy moment, right? So if I remember correctly, your rugby idol is Mr. Brian Apana, right? And the very first time you met him, you were picky. Skrikkerig when you took that hand.
Look at the switch up on you.
But it's nice to know that someone like you can also have kind of like a fan experience, man. Yes. And I think as people, as just fans of the game, we don't think that like the rugby players that we're seeing also get to experience that.
I've had a few of those, obviously meeting Brian, I've met Ricky January, which I loved. Like honestly.
Outfield legend.
Yeah, Bola Bonari. When I met Bola, the same. I also had an encounter with S1 Willem. So I was a 19-year-old coming into the gym, and S1 was at the Lions at the time. And the same, and I had to meet him, but I couldn't flip and keep my hand around. Hello, S1. Ek is Rudy Paige. Because I mean, when I watched the game, those are the guys who you just said, like, when you said Rick, for me, those were the guys who made the Bokke like, I can do it.
Yeah.
I saw Bola playing. I was like, I can play for the Stormers, or I can play for the Boks. Ricky January came on the scenes. And so when I met those guys, I was like, my mouth was always open. And at the time, like when anyone had something to say about Ricky, I was ready to box him. So I've had many fanboy moments. Brian obviously for me has been probably the best rugby player ever. What he's achieved, and every time I just in his conversations, it's like when I got to play with him was like that is unreal, like surreal. Is that the right English word? Surreal.
Yeah. He was now thinking about his bundle notes.
No,
That's a quick upgrade.
It's when you watch Netflix too much. So I've like whenever I've been in Brian's company, like because like he was my hero. We played for the Bulls. I'm a massive Blue Bulls fan.
Don't know how you got it right, but
yeah. So like it's just always been surreal being in his conversation still till today. Whenever I'm in a conversation, I keep my post on. I'm like, but I think to myself, that's Brian Abana. Yes, he had a song to himself. He ran a cheetah.
Did you know that song, Nizan? I kom
banana.
Oh yeah. Sorry. I do know that.
Just needed a refresher.
I'm the casual rugby
been a while,
watcher.
yeah.
I'm the casual rugby watcher. Like he's the hardcore.
Yeah, he's hardcore.
Yeah, he plays rugby.
He's hardcore.
Played rugby.
Let's
What position did you play?
step back.
Guess.
What
Guess. Actually, guess.
Let's not guess.
Actually, guess.
Let's not
You
guess.
saw how tall he was.
Yeah.
But also, yeah.
Outside
I'm only
center?
6 foot.
He's thank you.
Thank
you. I appreciate
He's
your confidence in him. No, but
He's
I
slow
was
in the rugby field.
Nothing wrong.
Lucy. That's really
So
fine.
I've mentioned it before. I'm from the colored community where it's got your neck break. That's can you rugby really? But at the same time, I ran a game of touches.
But the knees.
What do you mean the knees? Bro, I can step with both feet. Come on now, dog. Call me Cheslin Cole.
So then, something that we also kind of you said you worked well with money from a young age, but being an athlete, right, is one of those careers that's inverted. What I mean by that is you earn more money when you're younger as compared to when you're earning when you're later. Is there sort of within the system, are there mechanisms that are helping like players deal with that? Because I mean, especially from our sort of community, it's not this. It's the first time you get exposed to that sort of thing, right? Now you must work with this kind of thing, and also know that in 5 years, or even if you're lucky, maybe 6 or 7 or 8 years, it's going to be done. So is there like ways that people approach you and the organizations or the unions, do they help with that?
Oh, I actually want to think and answer this really well without just spitting something out of my mouth here. I think now, as we're sitting here, it is much better.
Okay.
There is a lot of stuff in place for the boys to manage their money smarter. Look, I can't speak for anyone else, so that's why I'm going to take my experience, my own personal experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I did a lot of things smarter financially, and I saved, and I'm extremely stingy. I bought 2 cars I never should have bought. Went for a Golf R when I was just dumb. But there was a lot of stuff in place. I think you get lost in the bubble of rugby, and that's honesty. You in this thing where you think it's gonna last forever, and that's just not me. I think that's a lot of us. the reality is not all of us are going to make lifetime money, sustainable money that's going to last for generations, that is left for a small percentage of Springboks and of generational players. And I really wish I had the answer. Sometimes when I speak to younger guys, I just try and tell them, don't do this. I stumped my cop there. You understand? Save extra 5,000 if you can. Don't buy that jean or that sort of thing.
Which is tough to say when you're in your 20s, right?
It's a tough thing because a lot of guys told it to me as well. And you just don't listen. That's the reality of it. You're flying high and you think, it's... Nah, I'm not going to listen, man. What is he saying? I'm getting the coin. So, in hindsight, looking back, I would have probably not bought expensive cars. That's probably my one thing where I've I wouldn't say messed up, where I should have made a smarter decision. Could have still driven a nice car because you still want to reward yourself.
Correct.
Because you feel like you've what's the right word here?
Earned it?
You've sacrificed.
Ooh.
You understand? You sacrificed time away from your family. I was by myself in Gauteng for 14 years without my siblings, close-knit family. So you kind of wanted to buy a nice Woolies pasta, drive a nice car. You understand? They have a Nando. So you wanted to reward yourself for the sacrifice you went through. But you could have been smarter with the smaller things, where you could have maybe saved and let that extra 5,000 or 10,000 rand compounded interest, and I would have been in a better spot than I am now. But I think my responsibility now, when it comes to that, is to teach the younger boys, share my story, share what. Not you can't tell them what to do, but you can always just advise them and say, look, this is where I went wrong. Maybe have a think about before you buy a car or before you splash on this or that. Have a think about it. The decision is always up to them, but you kind of just want to like enlighten them on where you have been not so smart.
And I think it's important that we do share that.
That's cool.
Because again, we are in spaces where we're the first time doing this. And we don't expect all the answers. But now we get to hear someone that this is something that I've done potentially that I wouldn't have done. Take it, if you're not ready to hear it, you might not be ready to hear it. But this is what I have gone through and what I suggest would be better. And I think it's important for us to share this. Let it known that we also make mistakes and these things happen. It's just that the biggest benefit, I think, especially in the rugby space, is the intangible benefit of having the network. Because you get access to people that normally you would never be able to approach. And I think that, and it's in those relationships, because some people say your network is your net worth. And it's through those relationships that you can then make it something bigger. And I think that's important.
Someone cooked.
That is. Chef. Nice class.
Chef JP.
What I was going to say, if I may, is that the type of personality you have to be a successful professional athlete, I don't know if you're actually thinking about like the longevity of it. I don't know if you're thinking about like, how am I going to make my retirement plan? You know what I'm saying? I feel like you are trying to be as successful in a game-to-game setting, in a season-to-season setting. And as you get older, obviously, as the balls start to appear, as the debit orders start to flow, you start making these career decisions. And I believe that's something that you had to experience. And for that reason, or is that one of the reasons why you ended up playing in the likes of France for Clermont?
It's a good. I'm trying to think why I left in the first place. I've always wanted to see what the world can offer, and not a non-financial sense. I've always been curious. What is it like? As I said earlier, like I've never been afraid to test my comfort zone. So I think going abroad wasn't a financial thing, because at the time my family, my wife and my newborn was still in South Africa. So again, we sacrificed back then as a family a lot, because I just wanted to see if I'm good enough to play in a different league.
Wow.
So I wanted to test myself
Yeah.
personally. See if I can fit in where there's a different way of doing things, where there's a different culture, where they see rugby differently. They train differently. They talk differently. Like
That's really
everything was out of a body experience. I sat in a change room halftime. I couldn't understand what the coach was saying.
Yeah.
So from that point of view, that's why I really wanted to go to France. And I must say, I've loved every bit of it. Really. Just to see how, I think we're very conservative in South Africa.
Okay.
Not anymore. Back 10 years back when I was really in my prime. But where they come and they call the coach on a first name basis.
Okay.
It literally is like,
Yeah.
what is happening?
Yeah.
You understand? Like I'm used to saying hello coach or hello Mr. Manage. And like everything was first name basis and the West service coming into flow. Like everything was like so different. And that was me the main reason that I left to Clermont. And obviously the club that I went to, Brighton, played there. Previously, I think John Smith played there. Might be wrong. Yeah.
We'll check.
Please. But yeah, the experience was great. And obviously then the financial part also.
Can I ask a follow-up? A bit of a change of pace question. Is that, okay, so you've played for the Lions, you've played for the Bulls, and you've played in Clermont. Has your style of play as a scrum half changed in those different settings, and how has it sort of evolved and changed?
So starting off as a youngster, SS schools, Lions juniors, I was very off the cuff, quick tip, running, sniping.
Okay.
En off the cuff met die.
Ja.
Met die mond.
Ja. Very much so. I have backup. So I had to, like, when I got to the Bulls, I think 2012, I couldn't kick actually.
Okay.
Yeah, like box kick was a major part of the way they played. Being tactical astute was a box you had to tick, and I literally had to spend hours.
Big on that.
Yeah, I had to spend hours on developing the craft to be a fundamental scrum half.
Okay.
We're coming from a background where throw the ball around, quick tap, run like we play touches.
Yeah.
The same, like I love that. And then I literally had to develop because I understood if I didn't develop, I would be out of work. That's the reality. It's a cutthroat industry, you understand, in rugby. Like and I had to develop, and for 6 years I played a certain style of rugby that suited the Bulls, and I knew that's the way the Bulls played.
Yeah.
And I wanted to perfect it.
Okay.
Like I really wanted to perfect the way the Bulls expected a scrum half to play. And I spent hours developing my passing, my kicking, understanding the play. And when I left for France, then I had to change again.
Okay.
So I constantly try to evolve and not be too smart, where it's my way or the highway. Like I really put emphasis on it that I can always learn, I can always get better, and I must always adapt. So that is the way I try to. I didn't always get it right, but I was open-minded to change. Yeah.
And then you also spent time in Japan.
Yes.
And you're like the first few that went to Japan from South Africa to go and play in that league. It was not as established or as normal as it is now. So you in Japan, it's amateur league, right? Oh, sorry, it's semi-pro. So which means some of the people are still working in the day, and then you mix with these professionals. How did you find that environment?
Loved it. Loved Japan, and I'm still today. If they can give me one mulligan in my life that I can get back, is that time in Japan, because COVID hit while I was there. So in Japan, they value you as a person, they value you as a rugby player, they listen to your input. So like they treated my family really well. It was really it was a time where you're extremely happy as a rugby player. So that is the one mulligan, if I could get back, that I would love to have back, is for COVID to just take one more year.
Just
one more year, like just slat the handbrake, one more year. One more year, but look, I loved it there. I played for the Sunwolves, we played in Super Rugby. I got to see a little bit with a Japanese player. my small experience I had at the time. Again, me and my family was split. My wife is still worked in Joburg while I was in Japan. They traveled, I think, every 6 weeks for a week or 2 weeks to come visit me. But yeah, just like I can't speak more highly about my time in Japan. The coaching staff, the people, the discipline they have, with the way they do just a normal deed. Their ability to soak up information.
Yeah.
Like I've got a saying, and I'm not gonna get deep. Coach Stix, who's the Springbok assistant coach, he told me one day, it's like, listen to understand, not to reply. And I feel like they live that. Like they
Sorry, say it again.
they listen to understand, not to reply. I tell my kids, but they don't get it.
I understand.
So yeah, and that's what I loved about it. They honestly they first gather information, and like it was a really cool time in my life, and I still speak to a lot of them, which is really I can't speak more highly about my time in Japan.
So there's a recurring theme with each of these destinations that you spoke about, and that is the sacrifice that the family had to make. And I think, again, this is the part where you say, thank you. but obviously you said it was easy for you to adapt, but you in silo is fine.
Yeah.
You are now building a relationship with a partner and then starting a family. That's a whole different kind of commitment and sacrifice required. How did that conversations go when you are moving in your career? Because, and the reason why I'm asking this is those that are coming up have the same sort of challenges. Where they find someone they absolutely love, but their career is going like this. And they're going north, and like the connection is strong, but it's not. It's Bluetooth, but it's not strong enough to get through those long distance challenges, right? So how did you guys navigate that?
Yeah, look, it was tough. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I think more for my wife, I think that is your point.
Should we bring her on next?
Yeah, please.
To validate.
I think for us as a family, we understood the bigger picture.
Okay.
As I said earlier, for me, I understand that I have to provide, and that's always been my thing. When I was a younger adult, I understood the fact that I have to provide for my parents at the time. To give them, to help them out with whatever they needed. Like, if I could, like, that was my responsibility, and I really enjoyed doing it. The same with my wife and then my kids. Like, I want to give them whatever I couldn't have. You understand? The same. I got to my little one. Both my kids got to see the world. They got to see the Eiffel Tower, and that is, you can't put that in a monetary value.
Yeah. Hey,
I've grown in life. Wow. Damn. Yes.
It's like new levels unlocked here. Sure, these new words.
I won't remember these words after this. But yes. But the second, look, my wife, and that's why I've got so much respect for my wife, because she made most of the sacrifice. Where she had to look after the kids while she was still working 9-to-5 job. Then had to take off leave at work to come and visit me so we could be with each other. So look, I've got a lot of debt to repay when it comes to my family that I have to do in school drops now and go to Checkers and buy the groceries. And I'm trying my best to make up for that. But I think if you ask her, probably like it was difficult. But we always knew that a sport career and a rugby career was a matter of 8 to 10 to 12 years. It wasn't going to be a lifetime. But I think there was always a light at the end of the tunnel that there would be an end date, like a best before type of life. So I think that kept us going. And eventually, I think in 2021, we all went together as a family to France.
Yeah.
And then it was difficult. Like the France, when we went together as a family, like we really struggled. Kids had to go to school in full French. We had to Google Translate in the evenings, all the homework. kids cried in the car. So that year and a half, about 16 months, was very difficult. Just for my family to adapt to life in France.
Yeah.
We have to take your phone out, Google Translate,
Yeah.
see what's on the box.
Yeah.
What's in this thing?
What's in this thing?
Yeah.
Whether you're buying the right thing or not. So, and that stuff is not on Instagram, unfortunately. The struggles is not on Instagram. It's not on social media. But it was lekker for them to see the world, for them to experience. My kid now knows what the cafeteria went in service to school. He had Wednesdays off. So it was very much like this American style of schooling. Wednesday had completely off. He had school from 8:30 till 4:30. The afternoon.
It's a long. It's a working day.
Working day for them. So it was cool, but the sacrifices was honestly tough. But I think you two will probably know as well. You have to sacrifice if you want to achieve some stuff. I don't think, or I haven't heard of anyone who's had it easy, unless for people who maybe win the lotto.
Yeah,
but that is
but even there you choose it's hard to choose the numbers.
Exactly. I've struggled. I want to go completely. I play every week. I win 5 rand, then I still take a loss because I played more than 5 rand. Yeah. Tough out there, boys. Tough.
How do you choose your numbers? You just choose random numbers, or is there like a method to your man?
No, it's like I told you, I'm a structured guy. Same numbers all the time.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know, same numbers.
I don't know.
I should maybe change that philosophy.
I think
Actually, don't.
Really? One day is one day.
Because the day changes, it's going to be...
It's going to be the numbers,
Yo, imagine that. Imagine that day you change your numbers.
That's how and the fact that you said that you own the money.
And I only play for the big one.
Powerball.
Yeah. Sorry, I've gone completely. Sorry. I told you before. I like to talk. Yeah.
The GenC podcast is sponsored by Tangent.
By Tangent.
I actually wanted to ask something. Because you mentioned that you played cricket and rugby growing up. I wanted to know, like, of the two sports, which one had like the most like trash talk?
Ooh, great question.
That's a great
question. Excellent question.
Because like I played rugby like for like 1 year in high school. Myself and my dad was it. And then I played cricket. And I felt like the cricket field was
because it's quiet. But I feel like sledging is a journey, man. Because they start with the small thing and then it builds and then it builds. Oh, they can't sue and then it builds and then it builds. Rugby's quick fast. Because if you do something wrong here, he gets you there again. One or two done. But in my the sledging's like a build up. But it's your question.
Look, I was a wicket keeper.
That's enough said.
I hope that answers your question.
It's coming to the crease.
The problem used to be when we play English schools.
Okay.
Because I would be really good for the first 5 overs, and then all my good stuff is finished. Then I was like, what now? Then I was what now? Then I start in Afrikaans and it's not the same, it just doesn't it down. So that was the only part. I think when I played Barefleet once, I was on fire the first 3 hours. My stuff was coming out and I was practicing it in the taxi on our way up to Cape Town. After the first 5 hours, damn. But cricket, I used to pride myself in having
good sledging
and having good stuff.
Especially if you're a wicket keeper. Because the wicket keeper and the guys in slip.
Because I remember I didn't play cricket for long. I only played in primary school. But I was one of the like fuck whites that walk to the crease and then the wiki says, "Oh, your sock is done." Stop again. Short-lived career. It wasn't meant for me. I didn't have provincial colors.
Can I just, before we get back to regular program,
please.
JP dropped a generational line there. Sledging is a journey. What did you say?
It's a journey. It is. Because have you not like those that are like, it's very rare that the mic at the stumps is like on for long. But sometimes there's like production errors and then it keeps running. So then you can start like they don't stop. It's
Yeah.
literally the whole time.
That's crazy.
And the great ones like Quentin and it's everything. It's something about what did you eat last night?
Yeah.
What is how's your mommy doing?
Yeah.
It's nice to meet her. Like those sort of things.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like especially if you're long, they start small, man. They start like Netflix was quiet last night.
You say it's bold up.
And then it's like, oh, the characters did. It's crazy, bro.
I even feel like watching cricket as like the crowd is even like hectic on the players, my bro. Like compared to rugby, I feel like they trash talk the players. Like when
Baseball's worse.
we watch cricket, my bro, then Aaron Finch like gained a bit of weight. That Owens is like, do you want a donut?
Sorry for laughing. Shouldn't be laughing.
Okay, let's bring it back. So you also did something that I think to be honest, I would love a lot more rugby players to do this towards the tail end of their careers and actually started playing club rugby back in the Western Cape. And I think the reason why I think that is so important is because you as ex-professional rugby players, you bring a certain level of a certain standard to the pitch.
Yeah.
And it's not that necessarily those around them will ever achieve that, but they get to see what it's like. Because in the club rugby environment, there's a mixture. There's those that had famous school careers and they're now playing the first team at their club. Then there's those that used to play professionally, now trying to get a bit of form before their contract goes. So it's nice to have this mix and then now having the professional people come into that space. What made you decide to do that?
Look, it's probably a two-part thing. First part is most of my teammates, once I left South Africa, a lot of the Kiwi boys, the Australian boys, they all play club rugby. I don't know if you guys seen Daniel Carter recently played. Yeah. He played a bit of amateur rugby.
Damon McKenzie, even All Blacks play club rugby.
So they all do it. And the same like when I had really good Australian friends. When they got time off, they play for their home club, the amateur club.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a big thing.
That's interesting.
So I just said, look, I would have loved to play rugby until I'm 40. Like not professionally, just I would still wanted to play one game for my club back home in Heidelberg, where my father played, my brother played, all my cousins played. Like I just thought like it would have been cool to form part of that. Like I played in the jersey.
Will you kick to poles with a sand whoopie also? Like your father did?
I brought the sand whoopie for my father.
Yeah,
it was quite. But I just look. It's probably, I don't know if it's a South African thing where you can't play club rugby as a professional or what. I just didn't see it as a thing. And for me, I missed the team environment. Okay. So I got home in Cape Town. Me and my wife moved to Cape Town. And I just told her, look, I want to play because I don't want to go, not mull at home. Like, I still just want to be,
Yeah.
you know, in the change room.
Yeah.
Because that's what you did every day for how many years?
Yes. I was still like, I just wanted to be in the change room. I wanted to play. I wanted to tackle. I still felt like I was able. I understood my professional career was done.
Okay.
So I was not in denial about that. But I just really wanted to play a bit.
Yeah.
And like, well, to be totally honest, the amount of talent, once I got to club rugby, I realized how much talent there is at that level.
Yes.
Like boys can step, they can play, they got ability, they got skill. They maybe just didn't have the opportunity. Someone just didn't see that.
So in the Western Cape, it's like we refer to, or I always used to refer to it as the missing middle, where they didn't get the chance to play a Currie Cup, or they had 1 or 2 Currie Cup appearances and then just didn't make enough to stay in the squad. But they're so good that they play 50, 60 caps for their club. And they're almost just waiting for that next chance. They give you the chance. But because there's so many players, it's like when you have that chance, you need to grab it, which makes the story even more impressive. Because you get when you took that chance, that leap to Joburg, like you said, it was a big sacrifice. It was a big risk, but you did it. And now you get to sit here.
Yeah. Look, opportunity, and it probably comes back to a little bit of luck. I will always say it. It took one guy to sit and watch my game. Maybe if the guy's coffee was late or that's the reality.
That's true. That's true.
You understand? He might have missed my game, and the opportunity wouldn't have been there. So there is an element of luck. And then I think second part is you must always be on your A game. Whether it's at training, and when I coach now, I always tell the kids, you never know who sits in the stand.
Wow.
So that's the reality. Whether you train, you play even a game that you think, this is not going to be lekker. You must still be at your absolute best in that game, because it's one guy that turns that whole thing around, that spots you and give you the chance. So the chance might not come on Newlands or a DHL stadium.
Yeah.
The chance might come when the Boks are training against UWC.
Yeah.
And the Bokkers, and that's your chance.
And I'll even take it a bit further. In this age where almost everything is recorded.
Oh yeah.
It might not be someone in the stands. It's someone sitting in another country that sees that clip, that sees that movement that they need in their thing. So you never know who's looking for those that's out there. Give it your best every time.
Yeah, look, I can't be more about, because I'm really passionate about that subject and not wasting. And Ashley Johnson was on a show the other day, and he spoke about maximizing potential. And I think that is what it comes down to. Like, don't leave breadcrumbs and give. I'm getting deep. Sorry. like don't leave breadcrumbs where you're gonna regret whatever you did. Like because I had a bad day.
Speaking to me.
So I'm very passionate about whenever I speak to youngsters. Like every pass matters, every kick matters, every day at training or every game matters. Like nothing is insignificant.
Yeah,
that's that was the one. Can I ask? Because it is becoming podcast malpractice actually for us to not ask this question. But apparently, when you were younger, when you didn't have a rugby ball, you took a plastic bag and then put grass in and formed a rugby ball. That is amazing.
Oh, bottletje.
Yeah. Stuff it through.
Like, I got, like, obviously, yes, definitely a bottle, definitely maybe like a sock.
Yeah.
But the packet with grass
I've seen
in
a power
is
packets,
deal that's down
I
and
mean,
horrendous.
I think that's a great question to ask the audience. What did you make? What was the materials in your ball when you were younger? And I think it's easy to like say that it was cement or whatever.
Cement is a bit.
So what we did ask, as you are in this next phase in your career, we did ask our audience what they think our next, or what is an athlete.
Can I read it?
Yeah. Sorry.
What would be a weird but wonderful second career for a retired athlete? Example, scrum off to DJ. So someone said to become a barber. Imagine the stories.
That would be. I like that. Honestly.
That's so interesting. But you would have to have like a passion for it, like before the time.
But like, just imagine like barbershop talk and like hearing stories from like, the time of a professional like this.
Yes.
That would be so lekker.
You're giving Rudy ideas?
The first one I can't do, DJ. Simply because I'm stuck in that Whitney Houston music. I've never left that.
You say?
And now I'm into like, if you get into my car, it's yacht mix. So it's DJ Cello, DJ Ice Flake. Like, I love the love songs with a bit of a
The
kick.
Adele remix,
Yes.
you say.
So that's why I'm saying a DJ. I'm going to do
a bit of a kick.
I'm going to Vicky.
So color coded, it's crazy.
There's one song I don't know if you guys have listened. You probably haven't heard it, but it's Fat Me Plaas to Mama. I don't know.
Bit of a...
That thing gets me in my
Insert now.
Insert,
Fat Me Plaas to Mama. That's my number in the car when I'm low and I need to get up before a podcast. Fat Me Plaas to Mama.
Let's go.
That's why I can't be a DJ. The barber one also. I don't think I've got the steady hand to do that.
He was
Imagine he cuts a famous person's head.
After that, a low skin fade. There's the mushroom cut.
A buck fade.
Yes.
Back on top, yeah, literally.
Gang. 2 people actually said a tour guide.
Okay.
Because you well traveled.
Yeah, you guys
you
have been everywhere.
and you must you must know
Yeah.
what places are
Yeah,
safe, what's
yeah.
not safe, and
Okay,
stuff like
actually,
that.
that's actually a good answer.
Then there's some outrageous answers. Someone said OnlyFans.
Oh, okay.
And the only way I get it is like, women do like the rugby
Oh, yeah.
ball, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, whether it's the
Yeah,
tall
yeah.
locks, the thick props. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Moving on. I like this one. Someone said a goalkeeper who catches will be able to deliver babies. So this is like more soccer coded.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
that's crazy.
Quarterback, you know.
Yes.
False start.
I'm in the right crowd.
All right, and then we asked a poll actually, right? So like a multiple choice, if you will. And we asked, I actually want to hear your opinion on this before I give the answer to the poll. And that is, what was South Africa's best Rugby World Cup win? Was it 1995,
Yeah.
2007, 2019, or 2023? Actually, no, not best World Cup win. Like, what is the best for them?
Yeah, that is, I think, almost impossible to answer. I think
You
look
too
a lot
close
of,
to it, you say.
yeah, and I think a lot of the boys now said last year's one was
2023.
because of how difficult it was to win it. Like getting through the group stage, having France.
That's so emotional.
Yeah, like,
sweaty.
it was like
was-
in the one pointers. So
So there's a difference between for the country and for my heart.
Yeah, so
because for my blood pressure, last year wasn't the best.
no.
one.
Mondays was obviously not ideal in South Africa. Definitely not. Look, as a child, I would say 2007 because I was matric when
Okay.
when the 2007
Your
side won
banner
it.
was so close.
Yeah. As a rugby analyst now and a purist, it has to be last year's one. Just
It's
like
difficult.
yeah, it was really like playing Scotland, Ireland in the same pool stages, beating DuPont and that French
Yeah.
team in France
Yeah.
in a quarterfinal, then beating England and then the All Blacks.
The level was.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is the toughest,
yeah.
the toughest road,
I
I
feel
would
like,
say.
I also feel
Because we
like-
got England's best game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure, we got England's best game.
And this was the first year that we had expectations.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's for
And
me.
usually we don't do well with expectations.
Wow.
The fact that the team had expectations to win the group stages and in the manner that they win, like that for me just stands out. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to. Yeah.
So tell us about your journey as a rugby analyst purist.
Yo, JP just scowled the audience. He didn't even want to hear the answer.
I don't know. JP's been on his own, Buzz.
Sorry, what is the answer?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So surprisingly, in fourth place, people didn't rate the 2007 World Cup. You
Yo.
don't rate Tabo Baking again.
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed that.
You know what I'm saying? I can rate Tabo
Yeah.
Baking again. Come on now, dog. And in third place was 1995. You guys made Mandela like that.
Yeah.
What's going on? Then third place, second place is 2019. I'm not gonna lie. In 2019, the final was insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the rest of the tournament was
Yeah.
mediocre.
I
I was
agree.
like, it wasn't as fun. But the final was.
Turtle needed some lotion.
You know what I'm
there
saying?
on
That
the
was
elbows.
that was for, you know what I'm saying?
My turtle didn't stand a chance.
And then 50% of the vote.
Yeah, literally all.
50, more than half,
Yeah.
51% actually voted the 2023. Because
Yeah.
it was the most like that bum sweat
Yeah.
in the, you know what I'm saying? It is the
I probably can't say it on here.
Nah, because we were looking at the TV. We were. And tactically, we'll never forget.
Yeah.
We'll never forget.
There was so many
Where is
moments,
he?
bro.
Where is he calling a scrum now? Where is he?
There was so many moments.
Iconic. Gosh,
Okay, so as we said, as a rugby analyst purist, How have you found that transition, Rudy? Because now, for those that don't know, Rudy is a co-host on a very, very successful podcast called Behind the Ruck.
Thanks, guys.
Where,
Yeah, look, I've always wanted to like something that the same as you guys are doing. Like, I really enjoy having conversations and telling stories and sharing and informative conversations, man. Not just sometimes you can have a conversation and it's a lot of fluff.
Yeah.
And I've always been a big believer in having conversations. And at the time, look, I'm a big follower of American sports.
Okay.
So I watch Stephen A. Smith, I watch Pat McAfee.
for steak.
Yeah, so that is a lot of my content that I like watch a lot.
Okay.
I play NFL Fantasy League.
Whoa!
Like I'm a
Are you
massive.
serious?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Like,
Would you support?
I was
Would
gonna
you
ask
like
now.
for the season?
Who do you like in the NFL?
NFL right now, look, I like Jalen Hurts, but they're not looking.
Oh, the Eagles.
Police,
Okay.
the
But
Eagles.
Saquon Barkley's
Saquon-
looking
Yeah,
good.
Saquon's
my
doing
main
the things,
running
man.
back in my team.
Saquon's doing the things, man.
Yo, for those of you that are tuned in,
Yeah,
just
just wait back. Just wait to meet you.
So I'm a massive American sports follower.
Okay.
And
Wow.
I've always wanted to do something, but at the time there wasn't anything like that in South Africa.
Yeah.
Where ex-players sit down and have where either we share our experiences or talking about the upcoming games or have a debate.
Yeah.
It's not as dynamic as it is then.
Yeah.
You understand? Even just disagreeing, like me and Juan, we disagree a lot. But that's always been, I think,
Wow.
my thing is, two
I see
people
it.
never agree on the same thing, but
I see
Yeah.
it, yeah.
if it, I don't know, I
It
don't know how
works
to
to
explain
what-
it. I just always wanted to have a show and a thing where you give your opinion, I gave my opinion. He
Yeah.
played for the Stormers, I played for the Bulls. Obviously, there's
Yeah,
different.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Fire
and
and ice.
it took us long to start,
Okay.
Like really, like it took us 6 months of, yeah, it's not gonna work. The people are gonna laugh. Like
Yeah.
they're gonna judge us. They're not gonna think this thing is gonna be any good. We struggled with a name initially, and then one day we just like, look, if we're not gonna try it, we never know. We're never gonna know what it's.
Yeah.
This is on the golf course, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We played a lot of golf. Like I was retired and he was
Almost there.
almost there, and we had a lot of time. And I'm still unemployed, not was still unemployed. And we're like, yeah, why don't we do what we do here?
Yeah.
Like the banter,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
disagreement,
Yeah.
like having a go at each other.
Yeah.
Why don't we do this in a show form and just see what it's
So,
like?
and again, the nice part about it, and in America they speak about new media and
wow.
the existing media, is that you get to speak to your guests on their level. They know, you know exactly what they went through.
Yeah.
Whereas with broadcasters and that sort of thing, they're always speaking from an analyst's perspective, or you had 9 out of 10, whatever. You're speaking to the person. And by having that discussion, you're unlocking a different side of them. Because I think that's the nice thing that your podcast is doing. It's almost humanizing these people that we've been looking up to. Because we see them on a Saturday and we swear them out on a Saturday.
Oh, so you swear at me also?
A lot, really. I swear a lot at you. It's a confessional. You must send your father. I saw a lot at you. Because that hand was always just like this. Anyway. But
But
be
JP,
that,
you know now.
yeah. No. But be it as it may,
Yeah.
it's because of that you're able to bring these stories to light. And I think it's so nice for us, because one thing that we also like doing on this show is showing that whatever you're thinking that great person is doing, at the end of the day, they're just a person.
Yeah.
And when they get to sit wherever they are and they get to sit in this chair, we realize that you are a person just like myself. And we get to chat one-on-one and have this opportunity to share the story.
Amazing.
And I think that's kind of why we've done our thing. But let's just continue with Behind the Ruck.
No, and I think just to latch on to what I think that is our mission and our vision is to do that. Is to showcase that behind the rugby player, there's a fantastic person, there's a fantastic human, that has a personality.
Yeah.
You understand that and that is honestly what we want to do. For us, priority is always to win our trust with our guest. when we have them on the show to obviously make them feel comfortable, not to expose them, not to any of those things. It's honestly a place where they must feel comfortable. And we want to always have that trust with our players or our guests, which we really value. Honestly, we value that, and we never want to overstep that boundary. But for us to showcase the human side is really the essence of our show. And with that essence is then the storytelling becomes so nice. And just to be in the player's mind and to kind of a lot of, even for us as players, I don't know what Juan was thinking or how he saw the game. The same with Amani Lebok or whoever we had on the show. And so through my show, I'm also learning about, I never thought of it like that. Or when Joe Eplon comes on and he speaks rugby terms. And so it's a constant learning.
The OG
sharing.
Power Ranger.
What a champion. So I think that is what behind the Ruck, and what we really want to do with the show is, make it a show for everyone. The viewer, the guest, he must feel like he's forming part of the conversation. That it's not an interview with him. Do you understand? It's a conversation either at the braai or at the back of the bus, like back in the day, or sitting in a jacuzzi. So that is really, and I hope we're getting it right. We still have a long way to go. We obviously not a finished product. We have massive dream shapes and big dreams. I'm like, I always tell Johan, I'm like that advert back in the day. Vujo's Wors. I don't know if you guys can remember it.
Please do tell us about Vujo's Wors.
I think it was a Castle or Black Label advert. And Vujo started with a Spaza shoppie, but Vujo always had bigger dreams. Vujo went to a shop and then Vujo always...
he's giving you lots of work.
Sorry.
YouTube is easy, bro.
I always say, I'm like Vujo's Wors. I'm a big dreamer. My mind just... I'm such a big dreamer. And I hope I can accomplish some of those dreams I have for the show and that Juan has for the show. And we can continue what we started and that we can still win more of a player's trust, that it's a safe space. It's not a space where we want to extract anything that is negative. We only do positive. That's really the fundamentals of what we try to achieve. So I hope that's the message that...
I really hope that you do get close to that stars. Because I think once again, it's just another opportunity that you've created to inspire someone else out there.
Look, and through the show, we really want to, we just had the financial thing. If we can have that conversations maybe in the future where we can educate and where someone doesn't have to make the mistakes we made. Or that is the essence of the show, is to really have informative conversations with a bit of our humor. Because I can't be anything that I'm not. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I am. Deal with it.
And the Olka Titi.
The Olka Titi. So we never fake. We are on the show. We don't pretend. And I really hope that's the way it comes across. We still have a lot to learn. My vocabulary really still needs to improve. I'm well aware of it.
You added 3 more today.
I'm
telling you, today was impeccable. They're going to be so upset with you now.
You must just remember it.
I reject
the episode.
I reject it.
Is it?
I don't want your vocab.
But
they must tune in for that sound like that.
Okay. I get you.
You from Heidelberg?
Proudly.
Do you want to play both games or just one?
We can just do the one that's fine.
Okay.
So on this game, Rudy, on the show, on the show, we have a game called Say Me Now. It's a game of a series of hypothetical questions. You just give us your take.
Okay.
Damn it. Am I going to get in trouble for this one?
I'm holding it in. I'm trying.
Am I going to get in trouble for this one?
No. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Say me now. Animals could play a sport.
Wow.
What would they play? The example, what would an elephant play?
So let's just give like maybe like 4 animals and like
So
what
I
that
Water
picture
polo.
an
with a-
elephant.
that's actually
Wow,
that's actually
W.
Huh?
really good.
W.
That's so good.
Yeah.
That's the best answer.
So, because I was thinking, like monkeys, chimpanzees can play basketball
Okay.
Yeah.
because they probably have like a mad vertical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then disposable thumbs, you know what I'm saying? And their feet can do crazy stuff. You
They
know?
can. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Penguins playing ice hockey.
Yeah, shame.
Yes?
Yeah.
Yes?
No, but like,
It's slow.
I'm picturing lawn bowls.
It's just slow. No, what is that?
Yeah, thank you. In the comments, you already know what to do. What is the sport that an animal would
play.
should
That's
play?
fine.
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, it's one
You
for
was
you,
a
one
good
for
one.
you, one for you. You're testing your reading bundle now.
Exposing me. Each level of life had a boss fight. What would your current boss be? And what would it take to defeat it? Each level of life had a boss fight. Explain quickly, Jen.
So, like when you
It's
get to
from
the
a
end of a
gaming-
movie, like get to a game,
A
then you
gaming
get to the
experience.
level, like the boss
Well,
level of the.
yeah.
Then you have to face the big dog to get to the next level.
Yes.
So, what would your boss be where you are in your level now?
And what would it take to defeat it?
Yeah.
Kind of like the greatest challenge you're facing right now.
Is this
It's
hypothetical
feasible.
or real now?
It's the same one now. It's the same one now.
It's the same now.
It's the same one now.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
Yeah.
It's kind of deep, yeah. At the same time.
Yeah, I'm thinking
Yeah.
now. I think it's probably where I'm currently at in my life. The next, what is next?
Okay.
That is probably my boss.
Okay.
Yeah.
Am I gonna be good at corporate? Am I gonna be good at a bit of broadcasting? What it would take to defeat it is probably not to be scared. Throw the cool full kitchen sink at it, like
Yeah. Yeah.
not being scared to embarrass myself, not
Yeah.
be scared to fail. And I
Yeah.
think that's the only way I'll defeat
Yeah.
the next phase.
Love that.
Yo, I love that.
You have anything?
bro, I've just been fighting bosses.
Like actual bosses?
Oh no!
It's out.
That's out
Gets
there.
out the bag.
You said what you said, bro. You said what you
Bison.
said, bro.
Can't take it back.
You said what you said, bro.
Go and take it back.
You're gonna find your bosses.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy work. That's crazy work. No, like I've had a very, very challenging year, guys.
Yeah.
Truly. As some of you know, some of you know.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, I think the biggest thing now, and this is interestingly speaking to my therapist, is I told her, listen, you are back in my life now because I only know war and I need to learn how to live in peace. So that's
Yeah.
my you know
Yeah.
my challenge, my journey is that
Find
like
that
I
peace.
don't have to be ultra stressed and anxious
Yeah.
about everything. I
Yeah.
can just find joy in life, you know. So
Love that, actually.
Chill.
and you say,
Yeah.
That's
This is almost like becoming. This is like it's like for me. It's like feeling like this can be like a segment of the show. Like
yeah.
your,
What's
your
the
current
boss?
boss fight.
Your current boss fight.
being
is
the
cool.
lead is a segment of the show right now. Wow, he killed it on arrival. There. Could it just be like, I like this.
Sorry. Okay.
My boss level is at the moment it's like a 3-headed dragon
Yo.
at the moment.
A hydra.
A hydra of sorts. And I think I either chop it all 3 or one is gonna keep regenerating at
Yeah, I
the
was gonna
moment.
say now.
So for me, I need to tackle all of them. And in my case, in the next week,
Oh my
so
gosh.
that I can go into December.
But I want 3 businesses left in me.
so for me, it's a hydra and getting that. But there is some fruitful news in that front. So Rudy, one way we like to end the show.
2 ways.
2 ways.
Thank
But I mean, the way we like to end the show is 1, you get to selflessly promote all your things.
You got there.
I got there. And then secondly, if you could give a message to your younger self, what would that be?
So firstly, shameless plug.
Shameless.
Promote any pages,
Where
any
can we find
projects.
you?
Where
Yeah.
can people find you? Lay it out
No,
there.
that's not important for me today.
We're gonna link it in the bio.
Yeah,
We'll put it
Okay.
in. If
I'll
you don't
just-
want to, we'll put it in.
I just obviously the people to watch our show behind the Ruck.
Yeah.
I think we got big dreams for the show for all the right reasons.
Yeah.
So if you can watch, comment, like, share, subscribe.
There we go.
Yeah.
Well trained.
Yeah, come form part of our community. We really want to be inclusive show
Yeah.
where the audience form part of our content and feel like they have a piece of belonging
No.
Yeah.
in the show, which we are big on, leaving a piece of belonging to them. So yeah, behind the Ruck is still, we're still evolving. We're working hard to make it a really the best rugby podcast out there, and that is our mission.
Yeah.
Is that a good plug?
Yeah.
love it.
For someone that started over saying, I'm not going to say anything, it was I'm taking
The
notes. I'm
marketer.
taking
Yeah,
notes.
take
I'm taking
notes,
notes.
Jake.
Yeah, I'm taking notes.
I'm glad
And
you
then
realized.
provide a message to your younger
Yes.
self.
Probably stop worrying what people think of you.
Amazing.
I'm a big overthinker.
Yeah.
Valid.
And for long, I was always so, yes, what are they going to think? What are they this? What are they that? So if I got one message, stop worrying what people think of you. They probably don't think anything, and you're the only one that's sitting on it.
In your
So
own head, yeah.
that's probably the one message I could give myself if I was about 22, 23.
Yeah. Nice.
Can I, before JP takes us home, I just
So
want to
why
say...
don't you take us home?
No,
Isaac?
I just want to say, I want to
Why
say
is it always
that
a JP thing?
you've come here with through humble beginnings, and you've navigated quite the journey. So much so that I have to confess that when I was following your story and I was watching in preparation for this, I actually cried.
No, man.
I actually cried because you are exactly why we do this.
Yeah.
We need to share stories like yours, and I know it's such a burden sometimes that you have to be this sort of like role model and icon because you just want to love. Just want to love.
Be me.
That's true.
But I need to let you know that I am extremely proud to have met you. I'm extremely proud of your story and your journey. And I wish you all the best going forward.
Thank you, man.
Yo, that's what I was going to get us all.
So
Damn
before Rudy cries us out here, if you like this podcast, please do like, share, subscribe, click on that notification bell, and we out.
Rate us on the audio platforms.
Oh, yeah.
Peace.